one. You will be emperor, she whispers in his ear. I am not so certain. The dwarf is a combatant of legendary skill. He turns and he looks into a nearby mirror. He can see her smirking behind him. That look always unnerves him. She meets his eyes in the mirror. He'll never make it to the final. So,
We all know
you
that Thanik is secretly joining this fight, and that is him talking to Meroe.
Well, at least he'll have the recording. Oh man.
we've planned this for him to be in North Dakota for months.
No.
Surprise!
Surprise. Yep. So you guys have made a return trip to Granite Back Hold. Doesn't take you very long. Obviously, you can teleport if you want. You can sail if you want. However, you decided to do that. When you and the Empress's entourage both arrive back, whenever she makes it back with her crew, that is when the 2 weeks countdown for the games begin. Basically, the aristocracy and the noble courts have deemed that Zilithan has been properly laid to rest, and it is now time to seek a new emperor. So word goes out across the land that anybody who is a aspirant for the throne may now petition to enter into the competition for the emperorhood. There's not a whole lot of qualifications at the beginning, as it is a process of elimination, and so the word goes out, and basically it means you just need to be a citizen in good standing. If you've been arrested for a serious crime or anything of that nature, you do not get to participate. But Othig definitely qualifies as somebody who would like to be an aspirant and considered. So everybody at the keep is really excited about that. And Othig, you have 2 weeks to prepare yourself for this. You know that it is a series of games. It's just not a fight to the death in this instance. If it is somebody who is wanting to claim the throne, they go through a series of trials and then it's a fight to the death. But if it's filling an open seat when nobody's on the throne, it takes on more of an Olympics style feel.
Right on.
So there will be a big celebration and a parade and all sorts of other stuff and some various games to get involved in. So Othig originally told me he is going to want to spend his time doing some training with Ziz.
Yep,
And
training
hanging
with
out with
Liz
his old
finding
bud.
the wandering monk again.
Yep, that's in there. That's in my list as well. So anybody else want anything to do during this 2 weeks in particular? You get a very cryptic message back, and it basically says, if anybody would seek me, they must find me.
Ouch.
It-
I found him once before.
his perception is legendarily terrible, but
Yeah.
it's still part of the trial. He must find him.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I mean, if he's standing out in a field, I might not find him. No, I'll get to the field. I just won't find him when I get there. That's the difference.
Yep. So, Mav, anything that Mav would be doing in this time?
I would be recuperating and trying to assist the order in any way that he could.
Okay. You do have a teleportation circle to the Order's headquarters, so you would probably be, at your fame and your skill level and being a bastion, you'd be summoned there to help. You would find the island is a wreck. It got hit by the tidal wave that trashed a lot of the other places when Setnovia, half of it disappeared. The temples, and for the most part, were on higher ground, and there are mountains between the ocean on that side. But it looks like the entire lower valley and most of the civilian population that was there is just gone
Yeah.
because the water rushed around the sides of the mountain, smashed in the middle, and washed out. So you also know that the vaults were attacked and a few items were lost, although some bards and Stephen the Everlasting managed to maintain a reasonable front and keep the cults from getting their hands on some very dangerous things like the Mace of Orcus that is still
Wasn't
secure
the
in the vault.
bards involved in a different theft though?
They were involved in several thefts, this being one of them, but due to the intervention with the martyr, Stephen is under the understanding that they were being used in their naughtiness by for the greater good, and certain things were allowed to be taken. And he's really salty about it.
Yeah,
He's
y'all, so is Matt.
he is not happy. Most of the people are not happy. It's one of those things as believers we figure out when God does something bad to get something good to happen, and we're like, yeah, but couldn't we have done this another way? And you know the answer is no. No, I could not have. But
Mhm.
that's kind of the feeling everybody on the island has. But so this, unfortunately for you, is mostly an administrative time. There is just
Mhm.
a lot of accounting for of things and taking note of. They do give you some tasks that you feel more at home with because there's a lot of structural damage too. So you offer to do some repair work and lead some of the labor teams working on things, but it is this thing that you're part of and that you love has been shattered by the recent events. It is a mess. You would see others here too. Kane would be here for a bunch of the time as well, doing things. Members of the Garden, his organization, would be here as well. So that's what's going on. Jeff, for you, Fazragul offers to go with you. If you're looking for the guy, he'd offer to go with you. Yeah, sort of. Like people talk all the time about where this guy is. He's kind of like that's how you found him the first time. You tracked down where people had seen him last. So it's not a matter of that individual needs to find him 100% on their own. So you could find him for him and then go grab Othig and tell Othig where he is, and then Othig could go to him. Okay. All right. So you know the ruin is not particularly chatty. As a matter of fact, more than mental images, it's never spoken at all. Except for the one time it asks you who you wanted to kill the most in the world, like what you wanted to eliminate. And even that was more of a primal impulse than actual words. It is an empathetic sword. It communicates emotionally. You know it's happy when you do certain things, and you know it's angry when you do other things. That's most of its sentience. But being who you are and the skills that you have, you are able to put a little bit more of its history together. I would assume you'd have time to cast legend lore on it, see if you could dig anything up with that, and spending some more time with it. It comes to you in dreams, and you have dreams of a sea elf forging this blade in like at the base of an underwater lava flow. And it was given to the king, who, after the end of this dream, you believe is the was Andoral's father. And it was used to eliminate evil, but the king did not use it for that. He used it to eliminate his enemies that he assumed were evil, because in his eyes, his enemies were evil. But unfortunately, the king was mad, and evil became the barkeep who looked at him wrong, and the peasants on the street who refused to pay their taxes. His son took it in effort to not have that happen to him. Took it from his father forcibly. and a combat ensued, and his son killed his dad with the sword. And that's when you woke up. Mm.
Keep in mind, anything other than level spell or less, you risk losing your spell.
What are you
Oh,
using? You're, but they're not really diamonds. Like, I mean, they.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Okay, okay, Jeff. And this is how economies die. Right here, this is how fantasy economies die.
Je- Jeff is just like picking up thousands of mics and bringing them home in cages.
Oh, you
There
know
are
what?
no ball pits at McDonald's filled with diamonds instead
This makes
because
so
they're
much sense.
worthless.
All that gold that was amassed for the dragon, not really gold.
It was all mice polymorphed
All
into
my
gold.
the whole time.
It's funny you bring that up. The world is definitely starting to reel from the fact that massive amounts of its coinage have just disappeared. Like,
Mhm.
magic items have become extraordinarily scarce. Like, vendors of shops with magic items have been robbed, like, all in unison shortly before the event happened. The word of some of the fallout of the culture is spreading, and it's just getting more bleak. So
we could You could do it under the guise of granite back stimulus.
No, they can make a gold
it's
coin.
what we're doing with our stimulus. We're just making fake money. So it's not gold list, but it's definitely. Imagine like half of the world's if all of our money was backed by gold, like a gold coin, half of it's gone. Because they didn't rob every Joe Schmo out there, but they definitely hit a lot of secure places that had treasures. Okay, cool. That's definitely something you can do. So Othig, you're back at the keep, hanging out with Ziz, and there is and he's Ziz for sure still. Like, he makes his little funny dances when he feels like he's winning things, and he thrums and beats his chest all the time. But there's something different, and there's something off about all four of them that came back from the hells, and it's kind of got a sense of PTSD, but it's more than that. There is a deep disturbance in their personality from the trial that they endured and from being dominated by Echidna for not a long time, but long enough
Yeah.
where there's just moments where you don't realize your friend is still your friend. So make a d20 roll for me, and you're going to roll against Ziz's d20 as you guys spar. Okay. So you coming through this spar, and you've known this for a while, you have clearly begun to gain the upper hand on this very proud and very skilled warrior. Just going into this, you're looking for tricks and tips, and you work circles around him. But then at one point, he uses his attacks. He hits with both of his spears that he's dual wielding. And when he does, he brings them to a point and he lifts you off the ground with these and flips you through the air back 10 feet. And so you have learned the lift and toss. So you can, if you hit twice in a row with your pole arms, once a turn, you can throw somebody 10 feet.
Oh my gosh. Right on.
So is there anything else you'd like to do with Ziz, or are you just going to spend the rest of the time working and in training with him?
I mean, it was just working and training with him, and like honestly, like if this is the culmination of what like that training needs to take place, that's fine. You know, I'm still trying to be conscious of the fact that I have a wandering monk who could be anywhere in all of
Mhm.
Talos to find. So
Yep. And that is going to be a D20 roll from Tony at advantage because you're with Fazragul. You did a thing. 17. So T, you find him pretty quickly. Um, Jeff decides, you're looking at a map that Fazragul is mentally projecting into your head, and he's arguing to head north because you last saw him in the north, and you're like, nah, this dude. And you have a very Pippin moment. The closer we are to danger, the further we are from harm. Like, and you're like, no, let's go in the exact opposite direction. And so you head south and start skimming the islands over the mountain range of the empire, and you come across the country of Ichthys, and you find him sitting near a darkened gateway way up in the crux of the mountains. Now, you guys have never been to Ichthys as the Granite Backs, but you did send a team there to compete in their games. They were invited, and you sent Oren and a crew to compete in their games there. Um, and like you guys do a little bit of recon in the area, and you come to find out that he is sitting in a place known as the Garden of Echidna. No, you probably don't. You probably do not.
Oh, like fun.
This was a place that they banished um, Echidna worshiper to, who was at one point in time their what's prime minister, because they're really the only full democracy in the countries, and they banished her here because they found out she was worshiping the snake goddess. So, and that's why it's called that. That's why people tell you it's called that. There are no statues of Echidna. You do see this prime minister that was banished. There is a statue of her, but she's still in a place where there's a lot of other prime ministers too, and they all seem to be equally honored. Like, she was banished for her personal goals, but her service to her country is still respected here. Okay. I don't know.
man, that's a good question.
Are those his actual stats, Mike?
They are now. I just put them in because I realized I forgot to do that when I saw you rolling. So you may figure out your extra hit points.
Oh, geez, that's a +5 and 15 levels. 75.
So, yep.
I think
So what do you do?
while Othig would think that it's um interesting and like it's definitely worthy of interference of some kind, I probably wouldn't entirely be worried about it at the moment. So like I would probably say that nothing's warranted. So I feel like Othig would be very focused on the task at hand and not really anything else.
All right. So you leave the statue be, um, and you head back. Mav, you're getting ready. I would say probably you're about to skip out on an adventure with your family, and you're at the order, and you're approached by Aloysius, High Priest Aloysius. Oh
Okay.
wait, did he die? He's dead. No, he's
So
not.
the
He's not.
spirit of him.
No, it's him. So all in his 17-year-old glory as a as one of the three high priests, and he approaches you and begins to speak to you about the upcoming event that Othig is getting involved in. And basically, he's communicating to you that he knows you're going to support your family, and that's what the order wants. Um, and so he kind of gives you that whole just make sure the order gets what it wants speech.
I would acknowledge the speech, but say there's not much I can do to influence that.
He smiles and nods, and he says, "Just keep your eyes open for opportunity."
Okay.
And when you're getting ready to leave, and then when you have that chat, then Kane comes up to you and just looks at you and just says, "Just do the right thing. It's not that hard," and walks away.
Of course he does.
And let's see. So Faz comes zooming in. There's not a whole lot of sense in hiding the giant squid ship anymore. Thousands and thousands of people have seen it now and are all talking about it. Picks everybody up, and Othig, you're off to fight the monk.
Right on.
All right, so let's do it. Let's fight a monk. Othig, what's your intelligence? Oh, I suppose I could check that.
It
I
is
know it's
8.
not much. Oh, wait, oh gosh. Every time I look at those double eights, I'm just like, oof,
Yep.
oof.
Oh,
So you find him.
But look at that strength bonus.
It is it is a great strength bonus. It really is. And Faz lands nearby. Um, and you guys heard tale of this garden from Orin and crew when they were here last. And it's kind of a scary place. There are a lot of statues of people frozen in abject terror. Um, Obviously, at one point in time, where living people turned to stone. You would have been told by the Ithacans, who you would have had to get permission to be here and all that, but we're not going to do all that. That's just we're getting down to business tonight. Um, that any attempt to fix these people has just resulted in them crumbling to dust. So they just stopped trying a long time ago. Um, and you find out that this is basically where some of the worst criminals to ever face the Republic are sent here. But you also know that Orin and crew killed the creature that lived here, so it is now a safe place to be. But it is a terrifying jungle scape. It's dark, full of overgrown statues of terrified looking people. So let's just see how long this takes. Finding him was quick. Training with Ziz was pretty quick. I'd say you're only at like day 5 of your 2 weeks time in. So, but now you got to track him down. And as you get closer, Jeff, you get a message back from your second message. It's been waiting. It's been queued up. And it says, "I almost feel like this is cheating." And then Fazergold tells you he can no longer pick up where the monk is. Yes.
That's awesome.
It, no message. You do not get a response. Yep. Othig, Make a perception check or a survival check to try and find the monk in the jungle. Both of those, I'm sure, are fairly trash.
Yep. They're both a -1, so
No, that was
That
an
was
attack
Skoog.
roll.
That's not
Well,
Ryan's role.
That's Skoog setting up his attack rolls.
let's just keep consistent and do perception and just see what happens because I'm expecting it to be really
I love
bad,
it.
so I can't be disappointed if it is. I can't be disappointed because it's exactly what I expected. I expected between 2 and 5, and that's exactly what I got.
Okay, so it is not an abject failure because it's not a nat 1. But it does take you guys the better part of a week to find him.
Yep.
Yep. Um, and when
Hey.
you do,
The way I see it, like, we already saved like probably a month. So
you probably have. So you find him back where you first looked for him because Jeff and Fazergold told you that he was by this black gateway. So you went there first and he wasn't there. And you go back and you look again and he's there. And you remember in your minds, you flash back to when you looked the first time, and he's totally in your memory, just standing by another statue. But for some reason, you did not see him.
oh, wow.
You looked right past him. So he calls out to you and he asks if you've come to challenge him again.
I have.
And when you say that, he just starts running towards you. Roll initiative.
Yes.
Yes.
That's epic. Ah,
I rolled the exact same thing, but I got a +3.
oh, you dog.
That's so funny. I saw my 4 came up and I went, a 4? Really? And then I saw your 4 came up and I just started laughing.
That's awesome.
All right, so he runs up to you and he is going to make 2 attacks against you. I do not have a battle map for this. I don't think we'll need it. Maybe, but I don't think so. So he hits you.
Yep, that'll hit.
Ooh, that's an @1. So he is going to critically miss you with his second attack, but his first hit. He lays into you. Othig, it is your turn.
Well, action
Roll
surge.
slow here because he has stuff
Yeah.
going on. So.
Action surge for sure. Just in case there was any question.
No, it's fine.
Othig would be very excited to use his new skill. You said just like per turn. I can do that?
Per turn. You can do it once per turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still incredible. Okay. Oh yeah, I have it on. Yeah. No, I was looking at it also when I said action surge. And I will use that here as well. Okay,
Yes, I
so
am.
I'll do attacks first, and it'll at least be 6, possibly 7.
That's a good one to have.
I see the inspiration not much different in a melee with a bard than a rogue sneak attack. Because rogues would still get sneak attack. And so smite is not allowed. It is definitely chanting magic, divine magic because of smite.
That's what I figured. I was going to play the paladin, but I figured that smite would not be allowed.
Yep.
Smite and heals.
Okay, so it's 6
Okay.
hits.
Yep.
And
Well,
2
no.
of them will be criticals.
Something goes wrong when you're attacking. Like he starts to shift. You feel the wind blow like hard, and he just starts to shift back and forth, and his AC goes up by 5. So anything that is under 25 does not hit him.
Oh.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. That removes like 2 hits.
3, I think.
No, because one of them turns into a critical.
Oh,
Yeah, one of
that's
them,
right. Yeah,
one
he
of
does
them's
get an
instantly
auto
a critical.
Okay.
I mean, still 2 less hits, which is like minus 100 damage to this guy. But
Okay. So it'll be 4 hits and 2 are criticals.
Okay. Your damage.
Wait, actually, no, you said under 25. So that, okay, but that one was a crit. So that's 3 of the, yeah, no, that's right. 4 hits.
Only in that 20 crit auto hits. So, but he would, yeah, that actually would never, it would still hit with your bonus. Yeah.
Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4.
so don't worry, Scoo's got you.
No, it's 5 hits.
Whatever. Just really damage. It's good.
It's 5 hits and 2 of them are crits. Okay. Okay. So first crit.
Oh,
That's a big.
Dude,
oh,
that's 1.
slightly above average.
3.
Oof.
4 is the other crit. And then 5.
Are those?
And
Oh,
then I will use the. Wait, he came into my attack?
He would have, yeah. You're right.
Okay,
He would have.
So I'll roll for that one. Oh, I was really hoping it'd drop on that 20. Okay, but that's still another hit. And then I will definitely toss him back the 10 feet.
Okay.
The amount of damage you just did on that turn.
167 points of damage.
Dude.
Slightly above average. I mean, those are all really good rolls.
They were very good rolls. There wasn't a garbage roll in that pile.
Only one of them
least
was
average rolls.
near average.
Yep.
Everything else was above average by far.
Okay. So Othig, he takes 2 swings directly at your head. And this guy, I used a NPC as a template for this guy. He's got way too many abilities. Like I can't see Othig on my combat tracker and have all his abilities out at the same time. So all right, he does this. You see him take a moment to consider you, and then he slides his spears out for reach, and he is not approaching you again, and he takes careful swing at your head.
He came back into my.
He did not. He is standing right at the edge of it.
At the edge of 10 feet.
Yep.
Wow.
And he lunges, but he never enters your area. And both of his attacks are going to strike you in the head. I'm going to need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, that's not good. Might have to break out Indomitable here. Oh, that was pretty good.
I don't know if they're much better than that.
It is pretty good, but you are 1 point short.
I've got a D4.
Okay, you can go ahead and throw it on there.
Oh, did that not?
Well, it doesn't matter because you only needed 1 point. So if you spend your D4, then you make the saving throw.
Yeah, I'll use my war gun.
So you are slowed and not stunned.
Oh, slowed. That is not good. Wait. trying to figure out how to get out of this.
I don't know, but it's your turn again.
No, don't cheer for the monk.
For
No, I don't think I can do anything. I can't do anything between lucky and indomitable to help myself out here any more than that's gonna be it. Okay. So slowed. That how does that affect my attack?
you get -2 to your AC, have your movement, 1 attack.
Oh,
Yep.
it's not good.
Nope. No reactions.
Gosh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, I know talk good. Okay. All right. So, I mean, he's probably drooling normally, but
It's not a kobold. You don't know what this guy is. He's covered in bandages. The kobold monk was the one that Thanak went to see. This guy is taller than your average human and covered head to toe in bandages. All right. So since you are slowed and can't take reactions, now he is going to run in on you and
oh,
unleash.
do I get a save?
It just goes away at the end of your turn.
Oh, well, that's
Oh,
good. I was
it goes. Sorry, it goes away at the start of his turn.
okay.
That way he can take advantage of the slow.
Sure.
I always get that screwed up with monk stuff. So he is going to take.
I'm really glad it's not persistent. Jeez.
He's going to miss you with that one. Oh, he's going to miss you with that one too. Give me a break. Oh, there we go.
Whoa!
We're just going to throw that damage
But
on
I
right
can't be
away.
crit. I can't be crit.
Oh, you can't be crit. Okay. Well, I hit you once already, so I won't roll that damage now.
Okay.
I will add 5 to this one since I still would have gotten my strength, my modifier in that last one. And then how many was that? 4? 5? Last one. All right, Othig. It is your turn. He's right up in your face.
Yeah, he is. Okay. Well, now we'll do action surge again. Goodness for 2. So 6 attacks. 7.
So many attacks.
So many attacks. You said it's 25 to hit.
It's actually back down to 20 now. That effect
20?
is over. Yep.
Okay.
Dude, Othig driving it home.
Dude.
It's like, hit me in the head, will you?
Okay, but none of them were crits, so okay.
Except Andy's. Andy's still over there like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm just trying to get this figured out.
I'll also toss him back 10 feet, and I will use second wind.
Okay. All right. So he
Ooh,
is.
nice.
You have both pushed each other into bloodied. He looks at you and nods, and he's like, "You have learned." And he's going to make the lunge attack against you again. 2 strikes going straight for your noggin.
I will definitely use my reaction finally again.
Okay. He misses with his first one though, unfortunately, and hits with his second. Nope, he misses with his second, and then he is going to take 10. He's going to move 10 feet back from you. and take a defensive stance.
Okay. But I'll still have my reaction, right? When he came
You
in.
do. He didn't hit you either time. So, and he didn't come in. He stayed at the edge of your attack range. So you did not. You can't take the free shot at him.
Oh, I can't use my reaction.
You cannot.
Okay.
You
Got it.
cannot use your. Sorry, you get it back because you're no longer stunned. That's what I thought you meant.
Right. No. Okay. He didn't come in all the way. And you said he took a defensive stance, huh?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm up.
Yeah, you're up.
All right.
Now, see, one of the things that Fantasy Grounds doesn't do, at least the Classic didn't. I don't know if it does it in Unity or not. If I change their AC on the fly, I don't think it updates. But go ahead and try and hit him. We'll see.
Okay. Hang on here. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. No, I am gonna try that. I'm just gonna see if this works.
Okay.
I'm gonna charge at him.
Okay. So as you do, he is going to make an attack roll as you come into his space.
Yep. Well, he
And
didn't
he
take
is
a
going,
defensive stance. He basically told me like,
yep, he is going to strike you.
yeah.
And so he'll hit you for 33 points of damage, and you stop 10 feet away from him. Your movement is stopped.
Oh. Oh, that's my turn then.
But you have reach, don't you?
I mean, no, because I just dashed, so that was my action.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Okay. So then he is going to move in on you. So he will be entering your strike zone. So if you want to
I'll
take,
use a potion though.
okay, yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah, I know.
Actually, he won't. You won't get to use potions in the arena.
You know what? I didn't even say that I got any when we got back. I don't actually have any, so I don't know that
You
I
guys always get 5 minors out of Filbert's cave every time you go back.
5 1d4s.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll use every single one of those.
Sounds good. All right. So then he is going to make 4 attacks on you as he moves
Oh,
into
that's
your
not right.
into range.
3.
You can add the hit points in when you get to him. So he'll miss you with 1, 2. He'll get you with that one. And oh, I'm rolling real bad here all of a sudden. All right, your turn, Othig. You guys are within range of each other again.
Did he approach me
He did.
for
So
reaction?
you can, yep. So
Okay.
you can take your reaction attack on him.
All right.
He has reach, but in order to get close enough to hit you, he has to step in because he's used his lunge.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that
Oh, it
one.
did work.
That
Cool.
one would have missed him. Yeah. Or
All
you
right.
said, is it back up to 25?
It is at 25 currently.
Okay. So that was the reaction. So I'm in regular attack. Oh, there's a crit though. Oh, those free
Oh,
rolls were terrible.
That was not a good crit.
those rolls were
No.
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, they really were. That is my turn.
Okay. So you did not hit him. Did you hit him consecutively? You did not.
No.
So you
Well, I only hit
cannot
him
toss
once,
him.
so
Yeah.
well, yeah, and I couldn't toss him either because I didn't hit twice.
Yep. So he's gonna let all 4 fly on you. If I could roll right, oh my gosh.
Oh, jeez.
I rolled 2, 3, 4. Let's see if I can get a 5 and just round the whole thing out. 17. Okay, thanks.
Oh,
He
Uh,
asks if you want to yield or if you're gonna try and press.
I haven't hit him much in bloodied, honestly. Like,
He's
well,
bloodied.
yeah, he told me he was, but honestly, he's dealt like 3 times the amount of damage to me that I have to him in bloodied. So I'm gonna tell him I know the outcome and yield.
Okay. He nods and he says, "Again, you have gotten closer than anyone else has." He
Twice
said
now.
pressing your advantage would have been a risk, but you had the potential to win.
Yeah.
You were close. So he will teach you one of the 2 moves he used on you. You can either forego half of your attacks in a round to raise your armor class by 5 for 2 rounds, or if you can have your amount of attacks for the round, and if both strike in the head, you can inflict a stun.
Yeah, definitely that.
Okay. So you'll get 2 when you use this move, you only get 2 attacks that round that you roll at a -5 because you're aiming for the head. If they both hit, you will stun. If they fail their saving throw, if they succeed the saving throw, they're slowed. So, and with that, the wind picks up and you see the bandages just kind of starting to waver in the air, and then he's just gone.
Freaking awesome.
What do you want to cast on him?
No, don't do that. No, Othik would not want you to do that.
I want to see Jeffrey get killed. So yes, let's do it.
Yeah, it totally is. That's exactly what it is. All right, so we have done that. You guys load back up into Faz, head back to Granite Back Keep for the last few days before heading to Minos. So you'll get a full rest in. Hooray, full rest. That's initiative.
Yeah, that's the goal, basically. No, no, no. It would still like he's no, like
That's not how it works.
yeah, he'll be unconscious. I can bring him back up. I can give him a potion.
You drank all your
Well,
potion.
not anymore, but next time possibly I will. I don't know. Maybe I become him. It's possible. I don't know.
Are you a Highlander? So,
I just called that move boom headshot.
all right. I love it. I love it.
You
Boom
didn't have a
headshot.
name for it. You didn't say it had a name, so I was like,
Mav, I'm going to slide you out of the combat tracker since I don't think Mav will be combat
Yeah,
tracking
that's
at
fine.
all this week.
Mike,
All
I can
right.
assume that I will be rested and have everything back.
Yep. Yep. You'll have 4 full days of rest at the keep before
Yeah.
heading to Minos. So you arrive at Minos.
Oh, I totally forgot to take my other free critical with my other action surge as part of my
I
key
was,
wound.
I was
Totally on
waiting
me.
for it, bro.
Yeah.
Shoot!
Oh well. I don't know.
He's off his plane. That can't be.
Maybe he's on his
He
plane.
can't be off his plane already. Oh, he might have and logged into Wi-Fi on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have been it. So you guys are at the keep, and Othig begins the discussion of who's going to fight with him. Knowing the rules, and no shade, nobody throws any shade at Mav that's not loving. They're just like, gonna cut it.
Yeah.
and and there's no argument there. So the first person you look to ask is Orin, and he just loses it. He's super like honored by the fact that you'd ask him, but the first thing he says is, "I'm old.
Yeah, I know. I know. I took that into consideration.
I never wanted to swing a sword again, and all I've done is swing this bloody thing around." He's just
But it's
waving his
so
axe
cool, and we
everywhere.
made it for you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He shoots it across the room, anchors onto a table full of ale mugs, and drags it over to him.
Still finding uses for it.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So he's happy to go, and then you guys start to have a discussion about who else is going to fight with you because Thanak bows out, which everybody is surprised and not surprised at. Everyone knows he doesn't like the arena, but they thought maybe for this situation for the Empire he might, but he holds true to his morals, and he's like, "No, I'm going to go home and get some and go north." And there's a lot of cheers for that. So somebody has to be your replacement, and there is a lot of talk about who this might be. And you look around, and you look at Hector, and he shakes his head no, because then he kind of nods over at Orin like, "I'm too old. I don't know why I'm still doing this." He's like, "Give me the other old guy and let's go dig up some more stupid treasures, but this is this is too much." So then you look to your war buddies, Raki and Skoog, and they come down to Shear's stone parchment. And they start shooting rock, paper, scissors for it. And when Skoog wins, everybody starts cheering. And Raki just shrugs and says, "Well, I'll just do what I always do and get drunk." He starts laughing. He's,
Totally.
and but they all get ready to go with you to the capital to watch the games. And so over the next few days, people start traveling. Some of them head out to the guild hall there already. Others decide to travel with you, and you guys arrive, and the city is packed. You've been here lots of times before now, and it is just overflowing with people. There are tents set up outside the city for miles. There, like it seems like most of the adults in the empire have turned out for this event. So there's quite a to do. You gather in the plaza. I don't know. I think I have this map.
Oh, you're gonna have to remove your aid, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And
I can't remove it.
okay, I'm gonna remove your aid, but you have to remove 20 hit points from your.
For max?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, also I forgot to roll my crits at max base damage because I always forget stuff like that. So
You might have killed him. It would have been a long shot with those differences. He only had 72 hit points left.
that would have that would have been really close. That
It would have been
really close.
darn close.
The second critical would have taken half of that.
And honestly, like I did have my round when he asked me. Like I
Yep.
I probably would have done it.
You probably would have. It was close.
But it just looked so bleak that I was like, nah. But I forgot a bunch of stuff, so there we are.
It's all good.
I'm not even sad about it because like I'm glad that he still beat me and that he still taught me something else. Like I'm kind of glad that the saga is ongoing.
Yeah, I am too. I think finding him on a mountaintop somewhere will be a really good like Othig ending. Like Othig just
Yeah.
wanders off all by himself to find this guy, and you walk into his dojo,
Dude.
That's where it all is, right there.
That sounds great. Not yet.
Not yet. So the aspirants, and there's about 600 of them, people who are potentially competing for the crown, are gathered in the royal district with their entourage. Everybody else has to stay out of the royal district and just hear what the heralds are yelling about, things like that. But your entourage and the aspirants all get to be here in the
Can I
palace
just
area.
reminisce for a moment? The
Yeah.
last time I remember seeing this map is when we went through the canal to the north side to get into the royal district sneakily. Like that's what I last remember about this map. I
Yep.
remember like
Yep.
how awesome that was.
Yep. And
And
this
then
this is where you fought bonkers.
yeah, I was just gonna say we faced off with bonkers.
I love it.
Good times.
Score a goal unit. All right. So Othig, um, the steward of the city addresses everybody in the crowd using some sort of device that casts thaumaturgy, so he can be heard from everywhere. He welcomes them all to the glorious games. He's looking forward to a day very soon when the new emperor is crowned, and with that in mind, he will not prolong the crowd with long speeches. There will be a time for that when the aspirant pool is narrowed down. But for now, he wishes everybody the blessings of all the empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. um, unfortunately, Mav is not with you, Jeff.
No.
Skoog is with you because Mav is not part of the team. The team that'll compete in the team arena battle is the entourage. Everybody else is out on the edge. So make an Arcana check.
Oh, that's not bad.
All right, so you're looking at this magic device, and it is a fairly simple magic device. It's just designed to cast and recast a cantrip. Um, but you're pretty sure you'd have to get your hands on it. You wouldn't be able to do it from here, but if you can get your hands on it, you might be able to hijack it. Okay. And Jeff, um, and just for everybody's sake, this is a fairly formal affair, but it looks like it's formal inside of chaos. There's all sorts of hooping and hollering going on in the crowd among the aspirants, and it seems jolly, but they take it seriously. So, it, of course, I'll be there, baby. So, all right, he's like, wouldn't miss it. And in fact, I'm playing at the final. All right. So, so as everybody disperses, they take the aspirants off to the side, and there's all sorts of people here. There's other dwarves here. No dwarf has ever sat the throne of the Kren Empire, but they've tried. They have the right to do so. And you guys are all separated out. And the first part of the competition whittles down the pool here, and that is an Olympic style competition. So, Othig, the first thing you're going to do is run a marathon.
Yo,
There is a
geez.
run around the city. And so I need 3 Constitution saving throws from you.
Okay. Do I get to make do so because I'm faster than most, do I make any at advantage?
You will not be. You're mobile, right?
Yeah.
because you don't get to use any of your magical boons once the competition starts. This is just straight oathing.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Don't
handy
worry.
working on stuff, making sure
Um,
everything's working
I
for
got, I
speed.
got
Okay,
a
you said
hit.
3 con saves?
3 con saves, which should still be great, but
Oh.
I will
Oh.
re-roll 2 of those because I can. Oh, can I use Indomitable or Lucky?
this is a save. This is a save, and you can use Indomitable. You can definitely use Indomitable, and you can use Lucky, but this will be for the whole day.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, I'm going to use. Well, I'm going to use one of each.
okay.
So. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Oh.
No.
Well, it's not
So
terrible.
All right.
so
Well,
Oathig, it's been a long time since you ran non-magically.
apparently.
I mean, they're still not terrible. Let me see what the average contestant rolls in here.
I mean,
Your
I'm losing
total.
pretty important stuff to do not much better. So.
Yeah. I didn't.
I think it's
Hold on.
party sheet.
I'm gonna throw it's in the party sheet. You can take any of the gear of the party sheet out of there. If there's something in there you might want that I didn't put in there, but it makes sense for the Kren, let me know. You can probably have it. Their traditional armor is in there, either breastplate or studded leather. That's it. I was thinking more weaponry. They're very spear heavy, but they are a weapon diverse people, so you might be able to make a request. Oh, you don't do terrible in the marathon. That 22 is really pulling for you, but you do come in at the back half of the pack, so you only gain 10 points here instead of the possible 15 for this event. The next is a javelin throw, so you will get 3 javelins. So make attack rolls. Just make a basic attack roll, proficiency plus strength, and that's Othig's natural strength, not the belted strength.
Okay.
Still.
What is wrong here? Something's wrong here.
What is
Oh
it?
wait, I know what that is. Okay, okay.
And I'm assuming you will be using this basic formula a lot.
Okay, so that's gonna be
Here
plus
shortly.
10.
Yep.
All right, so
The D20 plus 10.
Yep. Coming up. Is that gonna do all 3 at 10? We'll see.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, so okay, well that didn't work out the way I envisioned it anyway.
But still.
Right, but the math is pretty easy. Like
Um,
it's funny because doing the marathon, you realize that most of the people who lost in the marathon were all dwarves. Like you guys were all in the back of the pack.
That's funny. I will use lucky on the 1.
All right, do it.
I thought it was gonna be another 20.
Another
I
20.
can't believe we got 2 20s in one roll anyway. Like
You
that's unheard of.
you throw your javelin across the ocean
And still hit the target.
and still hit the target. So much better. You really rock the javelin course. So everybody is extremely impressed. Your first 2 throws are just like what? And then your third one, as you're moving up to it, you step in a gopher hole and it throws your throw off just a little bit. But it's still a good throw.
Yeah.
So you get 15 points for that. So you're up to 25.
Nice.
There is an obstacle course run now. This is 3 athletics or acrobatics checks.
Athletics. Yep, definitely athletics.
That's so funny.
Okay, we'll keep those.
All right, this one. All right, you get another 15 points on that, so you're up to 40.
Nice.
And this
Where am I
last
getting that
one,
one from, T? Ah, okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. Should have used that on some of the earlier ones.
he did say it, but you were doing math. You can't
All right.
interrupt Ryan when he's doing math.
I was
You should
maths.
know this.
I was mathing.
Yep, you're mathing. So
I
the
should have ran
last one,
faster then.
the
Yeah.
last one is the boulder drag.
Oh,
So they put a chain around your waist and it's chained to a large stone, and you need to drag it as far as you can before you become exhausted. So this is a strength check with a DC 20, and when you when you fail it, that's when you stop dragging it.
wow. Okay. Oh, um,
No magic is allowed. As a matter of fact, you see people who are constantly monitoring for magic. You are always watching people cast the ritual of detect magic.
okay. All right. Well, my save is set up correctly for the +10,
Okay.
so that's fine. Or not. It's not a save. Is it a
Yeah.
save?
This is a strength. It's a strength saving throw, basically.
Strength save. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a strength check at something I would give you proficiency in, so it's a strength saving throw for you.
Okay. So one at a time here. Where did that extra 3 come from?
I don't know, but 20 still makes it.
No, yeah, that's
Right,
not right
but
though. It's not +13, it's
should be
+10.
13.
My sheet says +10. I don't know where the other 3 is coming from.
It's got to be your belted giant strength still equipped.
Oh, effects. Whoops. What is it doing? All right, I'll just do the modifier
That's
then.
fine. We can do yeah, or the minus. It's fine.
Or
We
I mean,
can
it's just
subtract
10, so
3 easy enough.
I'll just add it. So
Okay.
I'll just roll a d20 and know that I add 10 to it.
All right, you've made it 20 yards.
Dude,
You
I
make
get
it
to roll a
40
d10.
yards.
Do I get to roll like does the
No, I
d10
just
count?
gave you an extra 10 yards for critting.
That's great. Okay.
50 yards.
I
There it is.
will no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
no?
I'll use my inspiration on this one.
Okay.
So I'll make it. Wait,
Make a
no.
perform.
No, no. I don't want to use my inspiration. Here's what I actually want to do. So you said it's at a +1 already, so that would be 18. I'm going to
Yeah.
roll my war gong.
War Gong would be a non magical effect that you got at the beginning of the day. I will allow you to use it.
Yeah. Hot
And that is
dog.
just enough.
Okay.
So you are at 60 yards.
Still got inspiration. Oh,
Oh,
I'll use my I'll use indomitable.
All right.
Uh, let's see how many
And
do
then
I
you'll be
have?
done with Indomitables.
Yeah, I think so. I've got 2 indomitables left and 1 lucky.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh,
oh, that doesn't make it either. So I'll well, I could use my other indomitable or I could use lucky. I will use my last indomitable. No, I'll use my inspiration first.
okay. Well, it could. He's sitting at plus 10, plus 1. He's sitting at 15. So he's got to roll a 5 or better. He's got a 50-50 with the inspiration.
And you said it's a D10.
Yep.
Okay.
Boom. 70 yards.
Okay. All right. So that saves 1 of those indomitables. So 1 indomitable and 1 lucky left. I just used my inspiration. Yeah.
oh.
Um, how far am I?
You're 5 short. You're at 70 yards. You're doing good. Most people stop at get to about 30. So you've done well,
I mean, is
but
there anyone behind? Is there anyone behind, like around, like because I can see
yeah,
the competition, right?
there's others by you. Yeah.
There are others behind me.
And there are
Okay.
others around, yeah.
Do I chance it?
You have one event left after this.
I'll stay here then. I've got one of each left. I'm gonna stay where I'm at here.
Yeah, I was gonna have you make a performance check.
Okay.
Not quit like a pansy.
That's okay. Your DC was 30 to shout over the crowd. You do hear him, and you pick up another inspiration.
Okay. Oh. Oh, dude. There's another 10 though.
80 yards. The
Okay.
crowd is starting to chant Othig. 90 yards.
No.
100 yards. 20 more yards, and you beat the record.
Oh, dude, I want to beat the record. I want to beat the record. I have, if I remember,
It's just too nuts.
I still have an inspiration of my own from like a long time ago, and I believe a second one. Actually, is that
You
on the
do.
main?
You have 2 mic inspirations from the DM, which gives you advantage if you want to re-roll that.
Okay, yeah, I do.
I forgot you had those. You totally have those.
I've been hanging on to them this whole time. Okay, so that's one of them. So now I actually have the one that I can log on my character
Yep.
sheet.
110 yards.
Yeah.
120 yards. The crowd is going nuts.
So I've tied it. I've officially tied it.
You've tied it.
Yeah.
130 yards. There's a moment where you're slightly offended because they're not cheering your full name, but they're cheering for Othig Stone Dragger. And like they're going crazy. Okay, 140.
Okay, I'm done.
And all right, you pull it 140 yards and you come to an end. And
20 more on the record.
they're just the city's unhinged. Like you can tell now that you're not focusing on dragging this stone that the noise is spreading outwards as the heralds continue to spread word of what you're doing. Like the city just spreads outwards.
Well,
All right, and the last event you got to do is it is it's a rope challenge where you are not attached, there is a rope attached to a crank and that you need to hold on to it, and they're going to start spinning you around and you have to hold on as long as you can.
okay.
These are against strength saving throws, so
Okay.
you go ahead and bust one off, and it goes faster and faster, so the DC on this increases by 2 every time you succeed. First one is 15.
Okay. Start with an inspiration. Okay. Got it. Okay. So I'll just roll d20s and add my 10.
All right, that'll pass. Just um, not long necessarily. Yeah, no. Othig, do you
So
want to lucky that?
That's
'Cause
13. No,
13 ain't gonna cut it. The DC
Yeah.
currently is 17.
yeah. I only have one indomitable and one lucky. Indomitable, lucky, and inspiration. I don't know, which one do I want to use? I'll just use indomitable, I guess.
Doesn't really matter. You're re-rolling the dice either way.
Yeah. Yeah, it really doesn't. There it is.
That'll cut it. So it's now up to 19.
Okay.
You're on spin 3, cuts it, spin 4. That's going to throw you unless you lucky it out.
I will do the inspiration D10.
Okay. That's
Oh,
still not enough.
oh, yeah. That's,
You want to blow your last reroll?
yeah, guess so.
All right. So Othig slides down to the end of the rope, and he's just hanging on to this last like inch of rope.
Jeez. All right.
And the DC is now 23 for round 5. It's pretty loud, but you could.
Oh, that doesn't cut it.
Just saying. Just
No, it
saying.
doesn't. Jeff,
Yeah.
you have an inspiration from your bard.
We'll cut it because you have a +1. You already have.
Oh yeah, it will. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
so you don't need to roll it yet.
Okay.
You have it. You having it will succeed.
Okay.
DC's 23.
Ooh.
Can I use the 9 that I just rolled from the?
You know what? I'll let you do that.
Is that all right?
DC is 25
Okay.
for round 7.
I'm out.
So this is not the longest somebody has held on, but it's a long time. And this hucks you. And one of the nearby mages casts telekinesis and grabs you out of the air. It's like Bigby's hand just shows up and like baseball gloves you
Big
as you go
softball
cruising.
catches me?
Yeah,
That's
big
great.
softball catch of you. Othig, you have so far qualified at the top 10% of the pack, and you are good to go into the next round. Contestants, aspirants are healed up for the night. You're given a comfortable room to sleep in. Yeah, you.
That's awesome.
That is
I love
awesome. But things are good. So, Othig, while you're sleeping in your room, please make a perception check for
Gosh. Here we go.
me. I know, I love it.
You know who fears perception just as much as you do? Mav.
Well. No one fears as much as I do. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm just too exhausted from the day's events.
So, in the middle of the night, Othig, you find somebody, you feel somebody shaking you, but you are so tired. And honestly, you're not going to tell anybody this, but your waist hurts from where that thing was chained around your waist and you just kept going. It hurts, but nobody's ever going to know that. And then all of a sudden, you're soaking wet. You're hit with water and you sit straight up out of bed, and there are 4 people in your room. And it takes you a minute to recognize who they are. But the first face that comes into view is a smiling Weregrummy.
Yay!
And behind her, you see Hazani and I can't remember the barbarian guy's name.
All the
Yeah,
members
the
from
queen.
the Queens.
No, it's not Hatchel. Yeah, the members of the Queen's Chosen
Yeah.
are there.
Nice.
It's the miniature Goliath guy. I never remember this guy's name. And Matthias, the Minotaur, is there. Matthias.
Yeah.
And he leans forward and he's like, the Queen sends her blessing if you wish it.
Yeah.
And you
Do
say
we know that
yes.
they know?
What?
Do we know that they know?
Yeah, you know what they know.
Okay. I can't
Yep, you
remember
guys are
the
caught
amount-
up
Okay.
to speed on
Their knowledge.
the fate of the Queen for the most part. Yeah, but you haven't heard from them since they were in Euros. You don't know what they
a
did.
long time ago.
Othig,
Yeah.
make another perception check now that you're awake. The
Okay.
other one was just to see if you heard them coming into your room, arriving into your room. No,
So
you don't
typical.
notice anything
So
else. I
typical
love it.
Othig.
You're like pushing water out of your eyes and looking around. And then they say, "Well, you should do well tomorrow then," and they disappear. So the
Dude,
morning
I
wakes
just
up.
completed in like 5 events. I'm super tired.
Yeah, it is pretty. You're in the top 10% for sure, but most of the city is talking about you are one of the prime contenders at this point with how well your performance went. Like you're at the top of the heap with a few other people. So in the morning, okay, make an insight check.
Yeah.
Gosh. All right, so Jeff, it's not just a matter of insight. You kind of hit the streets, which you're good at, and you start talking to bookies, and you're like, okay, so who's at the top of this list? Because there's betting. People are betting on this, and so they tell you that these are the front runners, and Othig is right behind these guys.
Dude.
No, he is not at the top. He is in the top. When I say the top 10%, that's still like 100 people. No, because he underperformed on the marathon pretty pretty badly. Yep. These guys performed well in all of their events. There wouldn't be any names on here that to you guys would mean anything. You might have seen some of these guys around court the few times you were there, but you don't really know any of them. Yes. Hmm. So, make another investigation check. You're outside the city too, so at this point you'd be able to hook up outside the palace. You'd be able to hook back up with Mav. So if you guys want to,
Yeah. Matt can do some investigation too.
okay,
Oh,
make an
Matt,
investigation.
Matt has a 0. Okay, well, no, that is definitely
That's
Thanos.
Thanos. That's totally Thanos.
I can insight with you. I can persuade with you.
15's not terrible. You find out that Bacchaphon, Bacchaphon is a renowned sore loser. Um, he's a gambler who usually he's an even gambler, so he's not indebted to anybody. But when he loses, he's been known to flip tables. So you also find out
Throws the
that
granite backs just on a regular
Leal
basis.
Leal is notoriously mean spirited, and Cenimus is extremely private. Not a lot of people know anything about him. The other guys you find like random, like tidbits, nothing of real value. Cenimus is really hard to figure out. He does spend most of his time in the Palace District, though he is a noble from the city, which makes it even odder that you two don't find any information on him. But that's what you get. So the next morning comes Othig. Everybody else, you guys all go to leave your rooms, and your doors are magically locked. And Othig, you are met at your door by four black robed individuals, and they're hooded, and they command that you follow them to the trials.
Do I recognize them as like the officials as part of the trial? Or like
You
part of the team that's part of the trials?
make a well, either of these are going to be at a -1, so make an insight check.
Yes, they are.
Unless you're proficient in history.
I am.
Well, you should do that then.
Great.
Oathing likes history.
Good enough. I actually was about to give you advantage on this, but that's good enough. You recognize not the hoods with their faces covered, but the garment robes that they're wearing. These are Reapers. These are the Emperor's personal guards. These are pretty
Oh
much the
yeah.
spy masters and assassins of the Empire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we've seen
One.
this before. I can't
Yep.
remember when, but we have seen this
You
before.
you had one approach you and apologize for what happened to Filbert.
Yeah.
Once that guy figured out that Filbert just wasn't bright, he actually felt bad about what he did. So
Yeah,
that's
I'll
pretty
definitely
much,
go with them.
pretty much it. So they take you to a door, and you see all of the other aspirants have been gathered by Reapers as well.
I got a long rest.
You did get a long rest,
Okay,
so you get all your stuff back.
great.
And one by one, they usher you through this door into what they call the Hall of Trials. So, Othig, you go through this door, and the first thing you see is there is obvious magic at work here. And the first thing you see is a man standing in the Reaper's costume and outfit, and he asks you what game you would like to play. And he points to all these different strategy games. Is
Uh,
there a game that Othig might have proficiency with as part of his class background?
Oh,
Or
um, there's not actually.
okay,
Um,
yeah, it's probably a
maybe.
dice game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I guess it would be dice then, but I didn't actually take anything.
okay. So for this, um, yeah, because if you have the soldier background, you get proficiency with the gaming set. So you pick Yahtzee basically. You can make a D20 plus proficiency roll at advantage,
Whoa.
and you will have to beat the other guy. So you pass the strategy game. You outmaneuver him because there is some strategy in Yahtzee. It is probably the least strategic of the games available, but there is some there. And you are passed on into the next room. The next room is a crowd of people, and there is a lectern in front of you, and you are told to address them as the emperor would address a crowd. So you'll need to make some sort of verbal speech.
Well, like,
But also, you feel inspired by, you remember the times that you were in the Queen's Labyrinth, and you have an inspiration, a D10.
Okay. Um, can I rely on history to recall how he's addressed people?
Yeah, absolutely. You can draw on historical figures and the types of things that they've said. I like that. Do it.
Um, you said just, but it's not advantage.
It's not advantage, but you have an inspiration on this one.
Okay, so plus 10.
Plus a D10. Yeah.
Plus a d10. Yeah. Okay. So, all right, history plus a d10. That's not great. That helps.
13. Okay, so you leave the crowd pacified but still agitated. You have passed the trial.
Okay.
Um, the next thing that you find, you're moved into another room, and you are faced with three people, and they are all telling you a similar but different story. And I need you to make an insight check to be the judge of their character here. 17. That's pretty darn good. So one guy you think is lying, one guy you're pretty sure is telling the truth, and the third person you don't get any read on them at all. Which one of the three men is actually lying?
I'm like, can I roll an intimidation for that? Like, because that's kind of what I was thinking.
You can certainly try.
See how they respond to intimidation.
Mhm.
Okay. Missed that 15.
You are a little more convinced that the guy telling the truth is telling the truth, but you're still not 100%. The the guy you couldn't get a read on before, he might be telling the truth. So you got a pretty solid. You're pretty certain that guy's telling the truth. The middle guy might be telling the truth. The other guy you still think is probably lying.
Okay, well I think it's that guy then.
The guy who's lying,
Yeah.
you think is yep. Yep. You get to move on to the next room,
All right.
and you are in a room that you have seen before. You are in the room of impossible leadership choices that you found in the Queen's Labyrinth. You are instantly flooded with the memory of how you solved this puzzle or not solved it, if you remember how it all boiled out. You can make this roll, this is an insight roll at advantage with an inspiration.
Whoa. Okay. Well, he wasn't. I mean, there were
No.
several of them, so he's not being specific about which one.
Yeah. You do know exactly which room this was, but it's okay. I didn't for a moment think you guys would need to. Very
Do I
nice.
There
do I
you
need
go.
my probably don't need
Why
my
don't you
inspiration
add
now.
two d10s to that? Because
Holy cow. Okay.
35. Um, a figure steps out of the shadows with a scroll and looks at it and says, "No one has ever solved this puzzle. You have managed to rule this kingdom in absolute perfection."
Dang.
No such thing.
Um,
It's a lie.
and there's now a meme of Othig with big mittens on, being painted on walls all across the city.
uh,
But no,
I
you
mean,
you have you
can we just for a second just talk about how like it doesn't matter like what you actually think of Bernie Sanders. He actually took that whole thing like a champ. Like he thought it was funny.
he owned it.
He not only owned it, but they turned it into merchandise and and
Yeah,
donated them to the like
it was
I was like,
fantastic.
that's pretty great.
So you are released from the tunnel of trials, and you are moved into the top brackets of qualifications for the Empire's throne.
Nice.
Your friends, after you were all taken down, your friends were all let out of their rooms, um, and explained what was going on, letting everybody know it was part of the flair to keep it mysterious and all that stuff. And so everybody has a good time. The night goes on. Things are good. Things are good. And the top contenders are the people that the bookies assumed they would be, and Othig, the six finalists. Other people did not do as well in the trials. Some of them couldn't even get through like a game of checkers. It was just they did not have the intellect for it.
Not saying that Othing does, but
This is the best. Being beat by a chicken.
This is good on so many levels. Like I can't
That's
even.
that's that's seriously adult Filbert playing against the rooster.
Yeah. Like honestly, this is the exact like chicken coop that I
He is the
imagined that it
rooster.
was when like
Yeah,
yeah, so good. So good.
so good. All right. So the next day dawns, and the aspirants are told to put their teams together, and they will engage each other in group combat in the arena. This is a process to eliminate two of the six. The final tournament will be solo combats between the top four of this. This is a test to judge your abilities as a field commander. So the way this is going to work is similar to how we did the big war. You guys will all make your own attack rolls, but I'm going to just pool your hit points together on Othig. So Othig, I am going to give you temporary hit points equal to the total of everybody's hit points, which is going to be 600 that's 651, 693, 609, 702. 7, yeah.
To
No,
throw a wrench in
712.
to throw a wrench in that, Skoog is definitely gonna rage.
That's fine. Oh, that's fine. I can just readjust the damage when I roll on you.
Okay. Do you want to
No,
do that, or
because
do
it's group damage.
you just want to double his HP?
Let's just
Wait,
double his HP.
I have 808.
808.
Yeah.
Is it 147 with 215, 204, and 242?
Yeah,
No,
I
you
have
don't
808.
add your. You have
you're
your own
totally
thing.
right.
Or are we adding your HP?
No, we're adding his HP as well.
So your total will be 1023.
Okay,
What?
thank you. Because we're counting Scoob twice because he's going to rage, which means he takes half damage. He
Yeah.
normally wouldn't against psychic, everything against psychic damage, but
Dude.
there's
There's no
no
psychic
psychic damage in here.
Well,
Barb's
we
got a
hope.
barb.
If there is, that's a different question.
That is a different problem. All right, so I got to get the other guys in the combat tracker.
Luke is wearing nothing. He's carrying a loincloth.
That's a
point.
real man right there. uh,
Raffle stuff.
I haven't heard that in such a long time. There's crazy new icons on the map now. What's going on here? A toggle toolbar? What? It's crazy. What's going on? What ifs?
Oh yeah, remember when I asked if you guys had a recenter button?
Oh
You have a recenter button now.
yeah, you do.
You
This one is
didn't
actually
before.
dropped down. That's nice. Cool.
Okay,
Oh
so
dear.
this is a place in the city known as the Drain. You're semi familiar with it. It is part quarry, part mine, and part sewage drain. Most of the city's sewage flows into that hole. There is prison labor that happens throughout the day here, but they're taken to a prison cell away from the drain
This is a
during
big
the
area.
nights. It is a big area because your icons take up more than one square. So,
Like half a house.
yep, you will move as a team. So I know sometimes tactically it would be smarter to do other things, but you will move as a team. Make sure these guys are all the right size because they're not. I would allow that. How much extra HP is that? Okay. So that is an extra 98.
Are we not going to worry about like little nuances like my ability to not be crit and max base damage on?
Nope.
Oh yeah, that's
You
true.
you are only wearing a breastplate, using a shield or 2 spears.
Okay, so we're just using some simplified rules here anyway.
Yep,
Yeah.
you are.
Okay.
And if you want the equipment dragged into your inventory sheet so the attacks show up on your thing, it's all in the party sheet. You can grab what you need. You as a Kren, you can dual wield spears. I didn't know if you wanted the whip so you could maybe grapple people from a distance. Understandable. So yeah, you can either dual wield spears or you can use a shield. There's a couple other weapons in there too if they catch your fancy. So let's roll initiative real quick. Ryan, you want to roll initiative for Othig?
Othig and team or Othig?
Othig and team.
Skook would have advantage on that. Would that assist him at all?
Yeah, I will add 3 to that. Because I don't want him to re-roll it, but
3 to that terrible roll.
Nope, just him.
yeah, just him. I technically don't need you guys in the combat tracker either, mucking it up.
Okay.
Oh, or do we?
No, I don't think you do because you said you would just.
So
I'm not even sure we need to move equipment over because you said you're just going to combine stuff anyway, right?
No, you're all going to get to make your own attack rolls.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So the only thing that's going to play that could play a role in it is Skoog basically intimidates those around him, and they have disadvantage on attacks against him when they're within 5 feet of him.
Okay. I will bubble that out to your whole group.
Okay.
So if they fail an intimidation check, then they will have disadvantage on their attack rolls while Skoog is freaking out nearby. That initiative roll was trash, but not as much trash as 4 of my 5.
And even really, the 5th one, not great.
That's just terrible. Just terrible. Okay, so part of initiative is you get to pick where you want to start in the arena. You cannot start within 20 feet of another group. So you could start real close to another group if you want, but you have to be at least 20 feet away from them. Or 20 squares. Sorry. Holy cow. These are 10. You can't start more than 10 squares away from somebody else. Sorry.
Okay.
Let's
More-
just.
So you
Yep.
have to be within 10 squares of somebody.
No, you have to be further than 10 squares from someone.
Okay, you have to be further than 10 squares from somebody.
Sorry.
Well,
I
where's
garbled that
everyone
whole
else?
thing and it just kept getting worse.
Can we be above them and jump down onto them?
Yes. I could tell you the distance of the drops. So, and they're quite extreme, to be honest.
Okay.
This
It's not
is
going to be detrimental.
it could be. Not to a barbarian though. But that is somewhere where you got to stick with your team.
Honestly, like I've fallen twice and haven't been killed, so I think I'm probably fine.
Mike, that's the description of the effect. So I don't know how you want to rule that, but
Oh,
I'm fine with it being intimidation check for the group. I'm fine with it not playing a role in it.
I think that's going to be too hard.
Yep.
I don't. But what I will do is I will allow you every round to make an intimidation check just to flat out get advantage. So instead of them getting disadvantage, I'll give you a mechanic to get advantage.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, I got a disadvantage. I'll disadvantage a lot of stuff, and that'll be so. This drop here, I just put the marker up, is
Yeah.
30 feet from here to here. It is
Sure.
another 30 feet down to there. So
Down to where?
where the hole is
Oh, okay. So each like ledge is 30
is
feet. Then.
30 feet. Yep. And obviously this one is sloped down steeply, so depending on where you went off, it would be different. But at its peak, it's 60.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So who goes first? Persephonon. And that is this guy. He is going to pick here. Brian, where does Othig want to start?
Okay, so this is like round robin style
Mm-hmm.
placement, huh? Did you want to start up high?
Skoog wants to fight. He wants to throw people off the edges. He wants to fight.
Okay. Start right there.
Okay. You are right by some stairs that lead into the tower to head up here. So, and you are technically within your distance from. Did it ask? Was it waiting for me to approve your move? Why did it do that?
I
Why did
think,
it reset to that?
yeah, because it just showed that I had like a distance marker. It didn't
Yep.
actually move me.
It's a map setting. If you right click on the map, I think you can unlock it.
That's right. I remember you fishing around for this last time. Unlock tokens. There we go. It shouldn't do that now. Go ahead and try and move your guy again.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. Um, am I right in saying that this gradually slopes down? So like when you first get in here, like where Bakfan is, and then like down towards that hole, it like gradually gets lower and lower. Like,
Yeah, this is the ramp down right here.
yeah,
So that's swoops around there towards this mine entrance.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
And then this is 60 feet below where Persephonon is standing.
okay. And we're at the higher part of where he's currently standing.
You are at the lower part. He is
Oh.
he has the highest ground available.
Oh, he has the highest ground.
Yep, he
Oh,
took the
I
high
see it
ground.
now. I see it now.
Yep, but you are right near a tower house. So these are steps right here, and you could run through the tower and get to him.
Okay.
It would be 30 feet up, so it'd be your full movement just to get to the top of the tower that first round, but you could get there.
Oh, well, I mean, then I just want to be in the tower.
Then you're too close to him.
Oh, okay. Well, where we are is fine then.
Okay. All right. So you guys pick your starting locations, and the crowd begins to form. You see people climbing up on the battlements in the palisades. They're all filling the towers. There's a bunch of nobles up here on this outcropping where they've built some balconies to stand on. Yeah, there's certain places where they've opened up the walls for people to come through. It's pretty packed, and a horn blows, and so Sephanon goes first, and he is going to. He can't see you guys. Actually, he is. He's going to come to the edge and throw his javelins. They're going to take their javelins and whip them straight down at you guys. But they are pretty unsuccessful in hitting you overall due to just how close to the cliff you are. And they don't do a good job of it. They do hit you a few times, though. That is going to be. Oops. For 26 damage. I should have rolled that right on you. Oh, that's easy enough. Those
Freaking love that
26.
one.
Oh
Every
gosh,
time
that is
it's
so
better.
scary. All right, that's their turn. Team Othig.
It almost took her face.
Well, yeah, I think we're gonna get in that tower.
Absolutely. Let's
All
get
right.
on
So
that
the
tower.
tower, when you get to the top, of the tower, what you see is it's open. It's not walled at the top. When you come up the stairs, there's a roof over it, but so if you stand right here where you will go, you can see everywhere, and they are standing just 10 feet away from
His Skoog, so Skoog has a
Get him!
45 movement speed with mobile and barbarian.
you. Okay. So normally, what I would, you could move, but what I would say
Wow.
is that Skoog can gets reach
Yeah. Okay.
reach when you guys move as a group.
So he would definitely like to use well, everything he's got. He
Yep.
would definitely be using some raging. And he's going to be recklessly attacking, and he's just going to whirl his pike around. And
Yeah, right. Go to town. Go ahead and make Skoog's attacks then.
let's see here. We got some reckless attack going on. We got a bear rage.
Oh, should we all be rolling our
You should be getting ready to roll your attacks because you're all going to go at once, basically.
Okay.
Oh, I got to do
But
this too because I'm playing
they
Orin.
don't get their attack this turn, though, correct? Or do they?
No, they already took their attack.
No, no, no. I'm talking the rest of our team.
our group, he's saying.
Oh, yes. You and Othig would get your attacks.
Oh, because he's
Orin brought Orin
Yeah.
brought a bunch of javelins, so he's
Yeah.
going to start hucking javelins.
Do you want me to? I mean, you haven't always said yes.
So
I missed
since this is
28 hit.
nice, so since this is mostly a melee brawl, you guys can just go ahead and start rolling when you
Yeah.
get here.
There.
Oops. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna do this differently, but I can't.
Oh, the pike even has reach, so that's not an
Yep.
issue.
But if
Oh.
if you get in a situation where you got to go a little further, you will definitely get to go a little further.
Yeah.
So Orin, ooh, critical hit for Orin. Starts whipping hand axes with his free hand, and he smokes one of the guys like right in the chest with it.
Oh, I did not roll this on them.
Oh, you can please, or yeah, go ahead. You
Yeah.
can go ahead and roll it right on him.
So that was, if you could do it this turn, it was 33 to them.
Yep, I sure can.
Oh, I should just wait until.
Jeff, you can't reach this round, correct? Oh, you did all your stuff. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure everybody's good to go. Everybody took their attacks.
So that's a crit. I'd get a free crit. What hits? What hits here?
18 hits.
Okay, so 2 do not hit. 2 crit. That's 4 attacks. My 5th attack though is I get a bonus attack for critting. So it is actually 5 attacks. 5 attacks, 2 are crits. And these are 5d6s. So 5d6. Well, 2 are crits. Ugh.
It does not.
Those don't hit.
Yeah, their AC is 18. All their ACs are 18.
Okay.
So what did I say? 5 and 2 are crits, so that's 7 dice.
Yep.
And
Plus,
do I?
you add your strength
Yeah.
for 5 of those. 5 times your strength.
Modifier, which is 10, right?
No, it's without your belt of giant strength. So, what's your
Still 10.
strength normally? Still,
Oh no, strength. Wait, modifier or just strength?
just your strength modifier
4.
4. So 4 times 5 is 20. So you will do 42 points of damage.
And yeah, there's none of our bonuses with like anything, right?
Nope. Nope. Just your core stats and proficiency for attacking.
Okay.
All right. So this guy is up and he is going to scoot this way. They're going to make it to there, and they are going to launch some spear attacks at Denalris. And Denalris manages to deflect the attacks. This guy, he runs up here, and they are going to unload their javelins on the Cephalon. Oh, that's a lot of hits. Why doesn't that show damage? That's weird. Okay, I'll just do it the hard way. And they shout to you, only 2 teams need to fall. Shall we focus on these?
Yeah, 4.
Yep, it is this battle, the top 4 teams go forward. The only reason this is happening this way is because there were some ties in point scoring.
Who's shouting? Is that being shouted at us?
Cenimus he was the one that Jeff discovered is a very private individual. He wants to know if you want to team up.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah, these guys are gonna run here.
Yeah, honestly, Othig's totally fine with that because we're not owing anyone anything for anything that happens here. So, yeah, totally fine with that. You mean the guys that we're attacking?
Yeah. The Cephalon?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Iron fists, man.
That guy dashes down here, and that takes us back to the top.
It's already happened.
But Cephalon, not liking the looks of what he's seeing here, his
Or
men are
sorry,
going to slide
That's what I
down.
meant, not Iron Fist. I did mean Red Rocks.
Take some damage, and then head over here and start whooping on this guy.
They jump off the side?
They slid down the side. They took some damage, but they just laid the hurt into Lael. And that brings up Team Othig.
Up and at them.
All right, so you can run back down the stairs to where you were.
Yep.
And you guys are still at a little bit of a distance. So Othig and Skoog can melee attack. Everybody else has to range. You don't like. What would you use to trap the stairs? I would say you don't have them. They probably wouldn't let you bring them in. All right. So you can roll your damages right on the guys if you have them set.
So their AC is 18?
Their AC is 18. You would definitely be able to use a reach weapon.
So 4. Jeez, just 4. That was really awful. Gosh.
So Orin, I still hasn't done a melee attack yet.
Oh.
Oops. Too many hit points.
16.
When they moved out of his attack range, could we have made an attack of opportunity?
Yes, you could have, but I'm going to say it's at disadvantage because they dropped down, which was really fast and unexpected.
Sure.
27 damage total from Othig. Oh wait. One of those
So-
would be a crit again. Plus 5 more.
Okay.
32 total from Othig.
Skoog is a
Bear.
totem. All right, so that's you guys. Persephone does not look pleased at you continuing to chase him down the stairs.
Oh well, he shouldn't have gone and picked a fight with someone else, dummy. Lead your team better. Flankated.
Flare picture. I use the Skyrim Imperial name generator.
That's awesome.
I didn't pay a whole lot of attention because some of these guys are just kind of tossaways. It's like whatever. They survive, they survive. If they don't, they don't. Oh, it's that moment is possibly still coming. Okay.
On the side note, we blocked TikTok for elementary kids.
Did you?
Yeah, because we found out that it wasn't being blocked and it should have been blocked. And one of our kids put this in there as their message from their student is, "'Cause you're annoying."
Wow.
All right. So the battle continues to rage around. Everybody's kind of beating on everybody else at this point.
Special.
Tyros his team looks like they've taken next to Bucephalon. I keep wanting to call him Bucephalus, the
Yeah,
horse.
you do.
And so it's that's so fun. Has obviously been hurt the worst. His team is struggling. Then Tyros's team is next, and that will bring us back to him. And he is going to. They get the look of a lost cause on his face, and he heads over here, and he not out of reach, but he's going to slip over here and unleash all their melee fury on you.
They would have some advantage if they hit Skoog, but he would have an attack if they attacked anybody but Skoog.
Yep. So we'll just cancel that out. You guys are going to take. Oh, that was terrible. I hit you a bunch and then I rolled terrible damage. Only 49 damage.
Would Skoog get to make an attack since they attack somebody other than him?
Yes. Why is that doing that? Oh, that's why. Derp. Orin would also get to do that as well.
They weren't out of our reach.
Oh,
No.
Orin, you and your critical miss. No, they moved into your reach. They were within extended reach range. Now they're in full melee. And Orin critically missed.
Othig wouldn't be able to
Othig.
react.
Team Othig is up.
Okay.
At this point, Skoog, Orin's going to yell out for you to hit him again. You big lout.
Yeah, he is. So does he get an extra attack?
You get an extra attack thanks to Battle Master, and then you get to add I get to add a D10 to one of my damages.
Okay, so he's going to roll at advantage from Reckless Attack on all three, and then he's going to use all three of his luckies if he does not get a critical hit. And he's also attacking Greater Weapons Master on all three of them.
Sounds about right. Let me guys know when you're done so I can add damage in. Because I did not roll in on him like moron. Actually, I can.
So all three of his attacks are going to hit.
Nice.
6 damage from Othig. Yep.
Wow.
Well, that's one attack.
How are those criticals?
Because I only hit once. You said it was 18, right?
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 16s.
He is going to take another 15. Or no, another 30. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, it is 15. Another 15 from. Did I not do the damage on him?
How much?
23.
Okay. Let's see. These two guys down here. So these guys are just going to town, and you don't know what Denalris is doing, but his team is munching through Troyos's team. There's a good chance that they are going to come out ahead, and they don't look too bad off at all at this moment. Denalris, Cinemus's team, they are going to run to the top of the tower and rain death with short bows down upon Paciphon. Bakapan.
Bacon. Bacon fun. Bacon fam.
Oh, that's great. That is a lot of hitting. Okay.
Either see Bucephalus or Bacon Fawn. That's the only two things.
This guy is going to just take advantage of Bacon Phone having his back to them. And
Bacon Phone.
oh my gosh, you guys. 5, 5, 5, 1, 5, 5.
Taking advantage of the back turn.
Those guys suck. And he is going to continue to attack Team Othig. Therefore, are looking bad. Ooh, that's much better. 23 is bad. 9 will hit with their bonus. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18, 19, 20.
Are they hitting us?
Yeah, they're after you guys.
I'm making an attack.
Bacon phone.
Bacon phone.
Nice.
So that's going to be the pike. Plus, oh, seriously? That's what you're going to do? But he's got a brutal critical. Man, that was anticlimactic.
Othig rolled a 2, or not Othig, Orin rolled a 2 on his opportunity attack. That's not good. All right, Othig, Team Othig is up.
Emo thing.
He's not doing terrible, but that last one was a oof. And he got a nap. He's old.
Gosh.
He's breathing hard.
Another 5 damage from Othig total.
Emperor Othig is not better fix this before it becomes a serious problem.
I mean, I can't hit. Like, yeah,
Um,
can't really do anything when I can't hit.
Othig, Orin yells for you to take another attack.
No, I hope it's bacon phone. Trying. Oh my gosh, finally. So bacon phone. And then 7 more.
Okay. I know you do. Ooh, those are good numbers. So Troyos's team decides to turn the heat up a little bit as him and Denalris exchange some blows, and that whole mess over there gets bloodier. And then these guys put a decent amount of hurt into bacon phone. Oh, that's oh, that's crazy. On 11d6, I rolled 37 twice in a row. Okay. Bacon Phone's team looks like they're near the end. Like you might be able to blow them over.
Like, what is a bacon phone? I mean, obviously it's a phone made out of bacon, but come on.
Maybe it's a phone that calls for bacon.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I want this phone. I totally
All
dipped
right.
with my smartphone.
Bacon Phone's turn. That's I just have fully given into it now.
What the heck?
Persephone. Oh, that's another good set of rolls. I will hit with most of my attacks.
The smartphone actually looks sad.
against us?
Yep,
We're
against you guys.
Pike.
Sad. He can't fold
So
in half.
close. Oh,
So Orin doesn't need to make his attack as Skoog reaches forward and puts Bacon Phone to the ground. As that happens, you watch them disappear off the battlefield, and you were told ahead of time that this would happen. This is a non-lethal competition, so they have been taken away to medical attention.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm so surprised, but that's great.
Bacon, bacon, bacon. All right, so that brings up your guys' turn then.
well, how far are they away?
Oh, I'm sorry. These guys moved down. They're alongside of you now.
How far are the other people away from us?
Each square is 10 feet. So,
Okay.
So how does Leol, Danalaris, and the other guy are looking? Any of them looking
Troyos
good?
is looking real bad. They're taking a pounding from Danalaris. Danalaris, it looks like they've taken a few lumps now, Um, Lyle has barely been hit at all. They took one round from the Suffolk Backaphone.
I'll just
we
suggest.
could throw some javelins at them at the long range.
I was just gonna suggest. Should we just look on?
I don't think that would be
No,
good.
acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say we go 30 feet that way. See if anybody tries to interfere with that movement, and throw some javelins.
Can we call for Leo to join us?
Go ahead, make a persuasion check. You can have Jeff do this because he's in the party.
Are
Or
you
we could
rolling this?
throw it against Denalorus.
30. He nods at you and points towards the other two groups.
Let's charge.
All right, so you guys are going to charge closer. You can get to here.
Which group are we attacking? Well,
Tyro.
Torius looks worse. But do we want to go against him, or do we want to go against Denalorus?
On Denalis.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. We're not friends here. Yeah, this is strictly
war.
strategic. Yeah, this is strictly strategic. There's no friends here. There's only opportunities. No.
You're just watching us off spears and javelins.
Whoo, Jeff, you're now inspired. Thank you. Orin thanks you as he connects with both of his spears.
Oh. Just enough. Hey.
Dude, it's a good roll.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Tyros,
Nice.
Flappy Bird.
So Tyrois forms his team forms a perfect shield wall and just lays in to Dan Ellers. Your distraction with firing upon them gave them an opportunity, and they basically go on the war path here.
Sweet.
And they do a total of 77 damage to that guy, to that team, and that's going to put them into bloody now. And then Cenimus follows your lead. They run up and commit ranged attacks as they're approaching. Now, those are okay, not terrible.
Oh, that's a lot of D6s.
And then these guys just fight it out with each other.
Big was probably pissed. But probably not.
Bacon Phone chose the stupidest spot to start because everybody was about to focus on that guy.
That would have been the spot I chose.
I know it is. I was like, oh, he wants that, but That's all right. Pretty much if you guys had picked that spot, you were going to be the target of everyone as they kind of converged and just started raining death down on you, and you couldn't keep up. But it worked out differently.
Kevin Bacon.
So, Denalris just really cannot handle the ranged barrage that is coming down on his head. Like 3 different teams all just brutalizing him, plus the fourth turning on him and just having a good round. Granite back team is up. So you guys can make it.
Charge!
You can get to there.
Now do you want Jeff Missile? Okay.
Ow.
Oh, okay. See? Yeah. Well, I can't get there just yet, so gotta wait one more round.
Well, 2 3s must be 2 1s. So I guess we did slightly better.
Spear and magic helmet. No magic in this fight, though.
Okay. And he is going to spend it right away. Ooh, and he's going to get an extra hit out of that. Oh, I like the way this looks for Orin. Boom.
Nice.
So he just roars. He's feeling good as he puts an arrow in the leader of that team, and it goes down. So Tyros takes their shield wall forward and is going
Is that
to
the 2
attack.
teams?
2 teams are down, but the combat should finish itself.
Oh.
Well, if they're moving forward to attack, Duke has an
Yep.
attack too.
So does so does
And so does
Yep.
Orm.
Yep. As they run into.
yeah. That's 9
No,
from
it's a
both
good Kren battle. It's got to keep going, man. It's not over. And so that's not very good. They hit you a few times, but not a lot. They only can do 29 points of damage to you. All right. Cinemus is going to slide over to here, attack from behind. And Lyle is going to move to here and attack the granite packs.
Of course he. Oh wait, we just no, we didn't just go.
No, you.
That's right. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oops. No, I did that right. 5. Your guys' turn.
I say we continue on.
I say we finish this guy off since it's close.
Yeah. On Ty Royce Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird. Ay.
Oh my gosh, it's
Not
so
even
bad,
close.
dude.
Yeah.
What's hit on them? 18 still also?
Now, these guys, they have a really good shield wall up, so their AC is a little higher.
Okay, well I still only hit with 1 again. Oh. Well, I'll roll a d10 to see if I bring one of them up. Yes, I do. So that's 2 hits. I will inspire. Does it have to be? Who is it? It can be
Oh.
anybody.
Skoog, you're inspired
Oh,
because Orin just used his inspiration and succeeded. So,
well then I will just re-inspire Orin.
oh, hey, he's excited for that.
He's doing really well.
He is doing really well.
And he thought it would
So,
happen. Okay, I got
dude.
2 d6s here that I gotta roll. Okay, so that's 15 more damage from Othig.
Oh, you did 15 more damage to them?
Yeah.
Then you will put them down because they're at
Sweet.
599 of 600.
Yay!
Hey.
We'll turn on Leol Hassan.
Yep. Cenimus runs forward and is going to unleash their attacks on Leol. Those aren't great, but it's some damage. And then Leol will attack the granite backs. Those are great. Several crits in there, as it's pretty clear there are a bunch of champion fighters in that mix.
Did they attack us?
Yeah, they did. Yep.
Aleatory strike.
You do. I rolled for somebody who has Sentinel in that group as well. Orin will hit again without using inspiration. All right. And I think that's it. Yep, your guys' turn. Oh, Orin with your nat ones, you crazy dog.
19 hit?
19 will hit these guys, yeah.
Oh, all 3 hits. My goodness.
Nice.
That's great. It's 27 from Othig. Finally in the 20s. Oh my gosh.
Oops, that is not the right numbers.
That should be a plus 10 to that last hit.
Gotcha.
Actually, both of them should be. I don't know why they only did. So that should be another 20 damage. Why is that not calculating right?
Get him, Jeff. You did. These guys didn't have the shield wall up. It was the guys you just put down.
There's a max damage.
Yep, they'll get them.
Hate those.
All right, so Cenimus and Leol fight back. Leol is going to drop you guys by another 75 points. Or 50. Cenimus is going to put them into bloodied territory. And Cenimus is going to take some good damage. There it is as well. Okay, your guys' turn again.
You said 19, so that'll be 2 hits.
Orin with another nat 1. Old dude.
Dang.
3, 4. That's the 4th one. This.
We don't get to participate in the final fight.
No, the final fight's solo.
12 from Othig. Solo combat.
There we go. That looks better.
Roll.
Now I got Sentinel or Weapon Master.
That's right. Orin gets a Sentinel too. $50 damage that time. Okay. Go ahead, start rolling your damage again. As Team Lael continues to focus on you, both of you guys focus on them.
This is going to be the opportunity attack for reaction.
Yeah, you'll get your reaction again.
Okay, and then we're going to Great Weapon Fighter. Why did that? Where'd Ryan go?
He just okay. So orange crits, making up for it. Making up for it.
Okay, I'm going to use my inspiration. Oh, yeah. There we go. No, I think that was a second inspiration, so. Doesn't
Boom.
matter.
Doesn't
Boom.
matter.
Boom. Oh, the
Yeah.
23 is going to switch over to Cinemas.
Yep. He's waiting for it. He knows it's coming.
Oh, of course he knows it's coming. Yes. Yes. Oh.
Yeah. So we'll wait to see what's going on. It's just Discord that won't connect. Weird. Yeah. Andy, let's jump out of the call and then you throw it back in. You make a new call and see if it gets Ryan.
You might need to reboot Discord. I'm assuming he texted Mike. Oh, no. Oh, do we try it again?
I didn't. Oh, I'm so stupid. Huh.